Students, rename with your roll number followed by your name. Ma. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Number go. idea. Okay, I'm
Good morning, Nandini.
Good morning, sir.
Mm.
Happy to See you, sir.
Thank you, Nandini. Thanks for taking your time.
I should say
Very-
thanks, sir. Thanks for giving me the opportunity.
No, I think we should thank you every time. Whenever I request you, you'll be always humble enough to come and take it up. Very nice. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I think we are already live on YouTube. How is it? I'm sure it is getting as live YouTube. Sowmya madam?
Yes, sir. It's a live YouTube, sir.
Yeah. Then I think we should not stop now. Let us start up now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Will you start up, madam, or what you want me to do? You want me to start up?
Yes, sir. We can transfer like that, sir.
Pardon me?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Switch on.
No, you want me? Will you introduce or what will do?
Sir, I will
Sowmya.
introduce. Sir, I will introduce the resource person, sir.
Yeah, please start, madam.
Switch on your videos, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, first, sir, good morning, everyone. It is my
Go ahead, Sowmya. Sowmya, go ahead.
okay. Good morning, everyone. It
Good
is
morning.
my honor to welcome you all for the expert lecture on honor to welcome you all for the expert lecture on AWS Cloud Fundamentals conducted by Department of MCA, Sri Vidyaniketan Engineering College. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our renowned CEO, Mr. Vishnu Manchu, and distinguished Honorable Chairman, Dr. M. Mohan Babu Garu, for their continuous support and encouragement in the conduction of this event. I would like to thank our principal, Dr. B.M. Satish, and our beloved HOD, Dr. M. Lavanya, for their support in organizing of this event. I would like to thank our Vice President, Dr. S. Prakash, Talent Accelerator, to support me in the conduction of this event. Now, I would like to invite Mr. V. Harshavardhan, Assistant Professor, Department of MCA, Sri Vidyaniketan Engineering College, to introduce the resource person.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning to all. So I welcome you to all for the expert lecture on AWS Cloud Fundamentals. It's my pleasure to read out the profile of today's speaker, Mrs. Nandini Gowda, who is currently pursuing her PhD at East Point College of Engineering and Technology. She did her MTech from East Point College of Engineering and Technology and BTech from KVZ College of Engineering. She has around 15 years of teaching experience. Mrs. Nandini participated in 4 conference publications. She has organized 2 conferences, 3 FDPs, and 4 workshops. She is recognized as AWS accredited educator and trained more than 150 students in AWS Cloud Practitioner course. Mrs. Nandini also acted as a resource person for virtual workshop on AWS Cloud Practitioner Essentials, program coordinator for International Conference on Multidisciplinary Technologies and Challenges in Industry 4.0, program coordinator for 2-day workshop on cloud computing with AWS services, program coordinator for virtual webinar on big data architecture and ecosystems, program coordinator for virtual webinar on AWS cloud practitioner ecosystems, program coordinator for virtual webinar on Rock Your Profile on LinkedIn, and Best Paper Award for stock market prediction using machine learning. So these are the few credits to her. And thank you, ma'am, for accepting an invitation and acting as a resource person for this event. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Over to Sowmya, ma'am. Sowmya, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, co-host is given for you. You can start the session, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thanks. I would like to thank the MBU College. It is Mohan Babu University College or Sri Vidyaniketan Engineering College. I would like to thank the complete management, principal, vice president, HODs, Department of MCA, and I would like to thank our Guru, Professor Prakash sir, who was the main leader for us in the East Point. And when sir worked as a principal, sir only introduced us to the AWS community. So we thank you, sir. We thank everyone for giving me this opportunity, and I'll start the session. I'll start the session. One second. Okay. So in between, I'll be switching from one slides to the from PPT to the browser. So please, all of you, bear for a few minutes. Let me start the session. Okay. So good morning, one and all who are present today. I myself, Nandini Gowda P, Assistant Professor, East Point College of Engineering and Technology. I am working in East Point since 2004. I joined East Point in 2004, and now I am currently pursuing my PhD on fog computing and edge computing. We have trained more than 100 or 150 students. I'm mainly the Spark for AWS community and authorized educator for AWS Cloud Practitioner Foundation course. I got certified in Jan 30, 2020. I wrote the exam and I got the certification, and I'm a lifetime member of CSI. If you see in the East Point College of Engineering and Technology, so we joined the AWS in August 2019 under the guidance of our ex-principal Dr. Prakash sir, and around 150 students of final year and pre-final year were trained on this. And AWS Academy is the one which mainly makes us or help the students to develop the on-demand cloud computing, which is on demand now. And the students may require all these exposure because when they need a placement, this is most important. They are having a work experience, or they are getting expertise in the new technologies, and that will be helpful for their placement as well as the employment of the students. And it helps for them when they join the company, so they can work on the environment easily. Okay. So over 10 students, what you could see here, all these 10 students got certification. They wrote the exam during the COVID period, and they wrote the exam at their location itself. So AWS has give that opportunity for us to write the exam at our location. So if you could see here, so this is the certificate which is being given to the students. So if you write the exam today and if you clear, on the evening itself, you will get the certification. So next, what are all the AWS certification levels we have? So AWS certification levels. So first, we started in our East Point College of Engineering and Technology, the basic fundamental course, that is cloud practitioner. So AWS Cloud Foundation course is called as Cloud Practitioner. And second course we are offering is AWS Solution Architect. And once the students are certified in the first course, they are going through the second one. And later, if they're interested to pursue still further, then this particular course, AWS SysOps Administration, is given by the academy. But in overall, there are around 13 courses. There are 13 courses given by the AWS. But in AWS Academy, so Academy supports Cloud Practitioner and Solution Architect and SysOps course for us. Okay. So what are all the main requirements for doing this particular course? So you should have a 6 months knowledge of fundamental of AWS Cloud, and you must be aware of the still some networking concept. Need not be the complete depth knowledge of the networking. You must have a little basic understanding of the networking concept. Okay. So in case you want to do a certification, I think for a student, it is 3 weeks is more than enough, or a 4 weeks. And in case an educator want to do a certification, I think we need, since we are all working, we need another 2-3 additional weeks to prepare for the exam. Okay. So what is this Cloud Foundation has? Am I audible? No?
Yes, ma'am.
If there is any disturbance, please let me know. Okay. So AWS Academic Cloud Foundation course. So it has a total 5 modules. The same 5 modules has been divided into the 10 modules now. So this is the version 1 we studied. In the version 2, we have total 10 modules. The same 10 modules has been represented in the 10 modules. Okay. Could you please mute the other?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry to. So in this Cloud Foundation, so initially we are starting with the cloud concept. What is cloud? What are all the basic fundamentals of cloud service environment? How many cloud service models are there? And what are all the types of cloud? And how does the AWS global infrastructure looks like? And we are focusing on the services. That is compute, storage, VPC, database, this load balancing, auto scaling, and monitoring. If you understand the complete module 2, that means you are ready for 70% of your exam or 60% of your exam. And the remaining concepts will give you some basic fundamentals of the cloud security, cloud architecting, and the cloud support. So if you could see here, can I go back? Okay. So here, can you see my browser?
Madam.
Yes, ma'am.
1 second.
Madam, can I ask one small doubt, ma'am?
Tell me.
What type of courses you are dealing in your East Point College related to cloud computing? Only the core courses or any specializations you are executing in your college?
No, ma'am. No, we are not started with any specialization. We are with the first course only, ma'am. Fundamental. And if students are interested, we are providing architecting, ma'am. Only first 2.
Okay. In the course, in your curriculum, you are not implementing any of the other courses.
Ours is a video syllabus. We are giving this as an additional course.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So here, if you could see here. If you could see this is the new course outline for the ACF version 2. ACF version 1 and version 2 has the same similar concepts, but it is put it in a different form. So in ACF version 2, so it starts from chapter 5 or module 5. The module 5, you have to learn the basic fundamentals of VPC, and a module 6 and 7, module 6 on compute, module 7 on storage, module 8 on database, module 9 on cloud architecture, and module 10 on automatic scaling. My browser is visible, no?
No, ma'am.
PPT,
Yeah, ma'am,
sir.
visible.
Huh?
We can view your PowerPoint presentation, ma'am.
Not the browser?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
You had to stop
How-
sharing that one, and now you share the browser, ma'am.
How to present the entire screen?
Ma'am, share screen.
Huh.
There you can select the entire screen desktop. Yes.
Okay.
Now it's visible, ma'am.
If you could see here, if you could see this content course outline. So here we are focusing on from module 5. The first 4 module is the basic introduction, and from the 5th module, it is actually you should study from the 5th module. So when you go to the version 1, it is in the module 2. In the version 2, it is totally 10 modules. So if you start from this module 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, if you study thoroughly, you can study for your exam. So this is what I wanted to share regarding those. So let me continue this. So how does the cloud practitioner learning path is helping? Okay. So if you could see here. Okay. So cloud practitioner learning path. Before starting up the cloud practitioner, already the AWS website or aws.amazon.com or aws.training will give you an opportunity to understand the fundamentals of cloud. So they host so many live webinars, and those webinars are available and you can access through those aws.training, and these cloud practitioner essentials are present here. Okay, so if you understand this, it will be helpful for you to proceed with the certification. Okay, so what is cloud computing? Why do I go for cloud computing? So we all know that the COVID situation made us to understand how we have to take the class online and at a remote location, and how we are explaining to the students over a platform, either the Zoom, Google Meet, and same way the many companies are worked from different locations remotely. These are all because of cloud computing. The cloud computing is an on-demand service which has been what it is delivering. It is delivering the compute and database, storage, and application and other IT resources. Every services provided by the cloud is accessed through the internet and pay as you go service. So without cloud computing or without an on-demand service, is it possible to access the resources which is available at the remote location? We may access with some point of time, but it is not possible. Okay, so we require the cloud computing environment. So the best example is take an Ola. Ola is a service these days. We use an Ola service in the Bangalore most of the time to travel. But I am using that service, but I am not owning a car, or I am not taking care of the maintenance of the car. And if there is some problem arises with the car, I am not worried, because that is taken care by the Ola. That means Ola itself, you can assume that Ola itself is one cloud service provider, and he is giving a service to me. Okay, so what is the main benefit here? The customer travels to a certain distance wherever he wants to reach, and he reaches that location within a short period of time, or within the span of time he could able to reach the destination. The one example is Ola. Another example is your IPL match itself. You want to run an IPL match, so that IPL match is on live streaming, and you know that match starts at 8 o'clock in the evening. So we need a servers from 7 o'clock to the around 12 o'clock. So we need a more number of servers during those period. And when IPL season is there for 2 months, we need a more number of servers during that time itself. And we may require less number. For example, they are hosting on around 150 or 200 servers. When the IPL season is not there, they can host on a less number of servers, or they can keep the data safe, and they can manage the complete infrastructure with the less number of servers. That is another example. Okay, so these are all the simple examples which we can correlate with the cloud computing concept. Okay, so the next one, what are the benefits of cloud computing? Why cloud computing? Why it is necessary? And why we go for a cloud computing? So we have a capital expense over a variable expense. So what is capital expense? So I am owning a building. I am taking care of the infrastructure. For example, now EMC has its own data center. So the EMC itself has to take care of its data center, the complete procurement, building, and paying the amount for the necessary infrastructure. Okay, so that we call it as capital expense. So we are moved from capital expense to the variable expense. That means we are going to pay for a particular period of time. We are not owning an infrastructure. We are not going to build any infrastructure. Sitting at our location itself, I can start a company or a small application I can run, so that application runs on the cloud, and it will make easy for me to connect to the cloud environment. I'm paying for a certain period of time. Okay, the capital expense versus the variable expense. Benefits from massive economies of scale. So what is this is, so over a period of time, everything is being digitalized now. We are depending on the complete on the digital world. So all the applications are generating a huge set of data, and we are able to increase our application or deploy more number of servers and deploy more number of storage devices. We can rapidly increase the storage devices. So all these can be increased over a period of time. Okay, so we need not to worry about the capacity. Why? Because so we for example, assume that if you own a data center, you should procure some hardware devices and you should keep, and it may be the overutilization of the hardware resources or underutilization of the hardware resources, or it may not be those hardware resources are not being used for a particular period of time. So we might expect that I need 100 server in future. Let me keep 100 server initially. So another category is I need only 10 servers. I can bear, or I can give an amount, or I can pay for only 10 servers. So that was a prediction initially, and now we need not to have a we need not to have, we can immediately access the servers, or we can request for a server within a particular uh, uh, period, or within a one click. So your server is allocated to you, that is which is available on the cloud. Okay, so it increases the speed and agility. The customers requires the data right time at the right place. So these data should be available, and latency should be reduced. Stop spending money on the maintaining the data center. You need not to worry. You stop spending on this. Go global in minutes. Within a one click, you can access the cloud services. So what are all the types of cloud services we have? So we have three types of cloud: private cloud, public cloud, and a hybrid cloud. So the private cloud is nothing but it is dedicated to one single organization. Correct? Private cloud is dedicated to one single organization, and it is not being exposed, and it is given an allocation only to the particular team. So it is very sensitive applications has been kept. Public cloud is nothing but it is operated by a third party, and it is being delivered over the internet. AWS provides a public cloud also. It provides private cloud also. What is hybrid cloud? We are going to run some application on the public cloud, and we are going to run some application on the private cloud. That means when the private cloud itself is not sufficient to hold all the data, So I need a space for some important application. So what I can move some set of data or some set of applications which can run on the public cloud. Okay. If you could see here, so there are three main service providers in the cloud environment. One is AWS, another one is Azure, another one is Google. So AWS provides a public cloud. Azure also provides a public cloud, Microsoft Azure, and Google also provides a public cloud. So what is a private cloud? Private cloud is given by the AWS Outpost, and for Azure is Azure Stack, and Google is Google Anthos. Okay, this is the private cloud. Okay, so what is multi-cloud? Multi-cloud is nothing but I am running some part on the AWS, some part on the Azure. I need an application which works parallelly on AWS as well as Azure. I'm developing a certain application or an environment where it supports on these different platforms. Okay. So what is hybrid cloud? Hybrid cloud is nothing but, for example, see, university is announcing a result. The university can keep an application which the customer is accessing that is on the public cloud, but it keeps the result in the private cloud. The private cloud data is accessed over the internet by the public cloud. So that also is possible in case of AWS. Okay. So what are all the cloud service models? So you could see here, this is on-premises. So what is on-premise? On-premise is nothing but you own a particular data center, or you're having your own application, and you have an infrastructure, you build a servers, and you have your own set of virtualization, and the containers and the applications is running on this environment. Okay, you own a particular infrastructure that is on premises. So what is DC hosted? Initially they were on the on premises, later they moved to the data center hosted. What is data center hosted is they provide you the infrastructure, they provide you the all the buildings and the procurement hardware devices, and they give the AC and cooling the systems, all the facility. The red color is the facility given by the service provider, and the whatever you see the blue color is the one which is owned by the customer. Okay, so here the facilities is provided by the data center, but you need to take care of the other remaining layers. You need to take care of layers. What is the unit of consumption is, when you are a data center hosted, you are focusing on, for example, you are buying a 3-rack space, and you are owning a 3-rack space in one of the data center. That 3-rack space is allotted to a particular organization. That rack space, for that you are going to pay the amount, that is unit of consumption. Okay, so after from this data center hosted, so they build up a one particular service model is called as infrastructure as a service. What is infrastructure as a service? The third party service provider or AWS cloud service provider will provide a service to you, will provide a certain services to you. That means they provide the facilities, that is respect to the building, the infrastructure, and the servers and a virtualization layer. So what you are going to consume here is, you are going to create certain virtual machines. You are going to create a virtual machines. The virtual machines which runs on this operating system. So these virtual machines are created by the user. It has been created by the user, and the user is responsible for selecting which virtual machine it should run. User is responsible for selection of storage, selection of network, and running a certain application on this environment. He is going to run a certain application in this environment. Infrastructure has a service. The AWS itself is it's a best example, and it provides all infrastructure as a service services. So what is platform as a service? In the platform as a service, consider an example of Python program. You want to run a Python program. You have not installed any the Python software. You want to run on an online the Python code. So they give you the runtime environment, or you take an example of Java itself. You want to run a Java code, and how do you run that on this particular platform as a service? So they give you a runtime environment. You create your own source code, or you develop the code, and you're going to run on this environment, and you're going to build certain applications on this platform as a service. Okay. Software as a service. Software as a service is you have a application which is given directly to you. For example, now all your applications, the social networking websites, your Gmail service. So all these applications are given directly to you. You are running the application, and you are creating certain this here applications here. So what is this? You're executing that application, and you're making use of the service given by the service provider. Okay. So if you see an overview of it, initially it was on premises, then they moved to the DC hosted, then they have all these service models. So we have another set of service models. So majorly we focus on these three. So there are database as a service. So there are there are some services itself has been developed newly. So we may focus on that at a later part of the theory. Okay. So infrastructure as a service. So the Amazon EC2 is an infrastructure as a service example. The Google this particular environment, and Microsoft Azure and the Rackspace. Okay. So we are focusing on this, all these on infrastructure as a service. Okay. Google Cloud Computing Platform. So we are taking care of Google Cloud Platforms. Okay. Infrastructure as a service. So what is platform as a service? Platform as a service, I already told you, they give a runtime environment for you to run your certain applications. So that on an AWS, it is given example as Beanstalk, Google App Engine. The example, best example is the Salesforce. So you want to develop a customer relationship management applications. So that Salesforce can be a platform as a service. Software as a service, all your apps what we are using, and a Google app, Gmail, Dropbox, and we are hosting on a Zoom. So these are all the software as a service. Okay. So if you look at the history of the AWS, they started in 2000, initially 2002, but finally they launched in 2006. They started using this environment completely in the 2006. That means 16 years now. So initially the 2006, the very less customers were there, but now over a period of 16 years, so it has been hugely developed. Okay. So now I could say that the main key players in the cloud service providers are the AWS, are always on the top, and the Azure, Microsoft, and the Google are the three top leaders. Okay. So if you come to the AWS global infrastructure, how does a global infrastructure looks like? Okay. So they divide into three categories: one region, availability zones, and edge locations. There are three main categories they divide: regions, availability zones, and edge locations. So what are all the regions you could see here? So you could see here Mumbai is the region in India. So same way we have a US region. The US region, they have a 6 or 7 availability zones. They will not specify where exactly their data is stored. They are mentioning the number of availability zones, the number of availability zones. But customer will not be aware where exactly this data center resides. Is it resides in exactly in Mumbai? We are not sure. They say that it is in Mumbai. Okay. The same way we have around 26 or 28 regional centers, and they're all connected here. Okay. So if you could see here, this is actually a website, the page, but now currently it is not working, the AWS page. This was the old page where it was clearly shown how does the global infrastructure looks like. So which are all the regions available, which are all the edge location available, and these things. So why we go for a region? Because whenever I create some application, I should decide in which region I should run that application. For example, now I'm in Bangalore, so I'm sitting here. I want to create one AWS application. Which application? For example, I want to run one virtual server. Should I create that virtual server in Mumbai region itself, or should I create a virtual server which is available for a free tier in North Virginia region? So what do I do? A free tier is available in the North Virginia region. So to experiment on AWS, I'll try to run on the US East 1 or US West 2 regions. Okay. So here you could see the other part is same way, how they are connected. So all these global infrastructure, what you could see is only about AWS. They're all connected over a internet. Okay. What is region? Region, they say it is a geographical area. It is specific to a particular, it is not specific to a particular country. It will be a specific to a particular region. Okay. So they are following certain laws and regulations with respect to a country. When they are hosting a new AWS region, they must follow certain regulations. Okay. Data can be replicated across the region, and data is communicated between the regions. Okay. So these regions will have a availability zones. So what is availability zones? Availability zones is nothing but it is not one single data center. It is a cluster of data center. It is not one single data center. It is a cluster of data center where we are connecting the around 50,000 to 80,000 physical servers. For example, now I need 10 servers, but the AWS itself owns around in one availability zone around 50,000 servers. Okay. So I may require additional of 1 or 2 servers. If I am starting initially a company, I can manage with 10 servers. I may require a buffer of 1 or 2 servers. The same way, the whole AWS organization will keep a buffer of some servers, maintaining that in a background. Okay. So immediately, whenever you require new servers, automatically it the scalability is available, and it will be issued. That means resources are issued on the spot. So you can request for any servers on the spot. Okay. So next is how do I select a region? That is what I told. For example, I usually prefer for free tier region, and that is easy for me to understand the AWS environment because I'm in a learning phase. I want to experiment on the AWS. And if you want to really build your organization, then you have to check for the documents or the data governance and the legal requirements. And you should also check for the proximity. Proximity means latency. And you also should verify with the services should be available within the region. There are some services which are dedicated to the particular region. There are some services which are not working or which may not work on another region. Okay. And even the cost also varies by region. Okay.
Madam, one small doubt, ma'am, regarding this regions. If we go with the AWS Educate, they are giving Ohio region as a free of cost.
Maybe the AWS Educate, they developed on Ohio region.
And if we see the AWS Academy, they are saying Northern
Not
Virginia.
Virginia region. So what do they say, no, ma'am? They would have deployed on AWS OU, but usually we worked on North Virginia only.
But all the components that are there in Ohio are not available in Northern Virginia, ma'am.
Because Northern Virginia is free tier, so they have a limited access, ma'am. They have a limited access to the resources.
Okay.
Because when you go to the free tier, so you can build small application. You want to run one server, you want to connect one server or simple execution of some program. So that could be possible when you are accessing a free tier. So when you are learning a basic fundamentals, the free tier is more than sufficient.
But when number of instances are increasing, it is going to raise the bill, ma'am.
No, I'll explain to you. I'll explain to you in the further slides. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So if you could see here, I am using the slides from the diagrams. Whatever you could see here, it is from the Cantrell, Adrian Cantrell website. So I purchased a course on the AWS Cantrell website. So it is really a useful course. And I'll tell you which all courses are available on the internet. Okay. So if you could see here, there is a public versus private services. Types of clouds is different and the types of services is different. So what you could see, you're sitting at your home, you want to host a particular service, or you want to access your Gmail, or you want to access your social networking site. All these are available on the public internet zone. Public internet zone. For example, now you want to run a Netflix. So assume that you want to run a Netflix. So that is, you are clicking on a particular application. Okay. So in the AWS, they divide into two zones. One is a private zone, another one is a public zone. A private zone is where your server resides, storage resides, and your networking is connected. Okay. So all these things, what you do, you connect through inside a virtual private cloud. You connect through the virtual private cloud. Okay. So first you have to create a VPC. Under this VPC, you have to select which availability zone you are connecting. Okay. First, you have to create availability zones. In that, you have to create a subnets. Okay. So assume that this is one apartment. Okay. VPC itself is in one apartment area, and you are created some communities. So apartment one building or first sector one name, the second sector one name, and the third sector one name. And inside the apartment building, you all have small buildings, small apartments with the different floors. Okay. Assume that first availability zone has 10 floors, and the second one has around 20 floors. That means you assume apartment environment where you have a different possibility of these buildings are constructed. Okay. You have one sector, another sector, and another sector, and you have a community building also. So in this case, all these are independent, and you want to make them connected. So for that, we need a VPC. VPC is the one which makes the network connection possible. Okay. So inside the apartment, each building you treat as one server. One building, one floor. In each floor, you have around 10 houses. So assume that 10 house means 10 servers I can occupy. Okay. The same way here, you have another building like that. Okay. So assume that for this example, we have one building where I created one particular server. This server wants to connect. For example, I got a request from the customer. The customer want to run an internet service. That internet service is requesting for an AWS server. So what does the AWS server will do? AWS server will connect to the VPC, and this outside connection is happening through the internet gateway. It is happening to the internet gateway. EC2 cannot directly connect to the outside world. So it should pass through the internet gateway, that is traffic. The HTTP traffic should pass through this internet gateway, and then it should connect to the internet. Okay, and then it is accessing. This is one way of connection where private zone is going through the directly connecting to the customer. Okay, so in another second condition, for example, your Netflix example itself, the videos has been uploaded in the S3 bucket. Okay, so what the customer will do, the customer will request for a particular movie that is available in the S3 bucket. This S3 bucket sends a request, or it starts running that particular the movie which is being requested. So EC2 connects with the over internet gateway, it connects to the S3, and here the customer is also requesting this connection will happen over a internet gateway. That means these two are not directly connected. Okay, so whenever you send a request to the AWS environment, first initially it goes to the public zone. From the public zone, it goes to the private zone. That means if applications are available here, it runs here, but we need a servers which has been placed in the private zone. So all the application which has been requested will be sent to the request is forwarded to the private zone. In case you are connected with the your on premises, for example, you own your own data center and you want to connect, direct connect is the best example. You can easily direct connect to the EC2. So in this diagram, what I would like to tell you is, so whenever we request, it goes to the public zone, then it goes to the private zone. Okay, so what are all the Amazon Web Services available? Which are all the services available in the Amazon Web Service? So first one is a EC2. It is a virtual machine or a virtual server which is created by the user on behalf of their organization, or they are trying to execute something, web servers or mail servers, or they want to run small database servers. So they have to create a servers using the EC2. What we need to understand here is, see, when I am connecting to my organization, I have my own networking, I have my own servers. So I am taking care of this servers, storage, database, everything, networking. The same environment, what you could see your LAN connection or a WAN connection, the same environment is deployed in the AWS. It has been deployed in the AWS at a remote location, and you are using that remote location service. Okay, so what you could see, what we studied are network 1 and network 2 concepts in our engineering syllabus. So that same environment is deployed on the cloud with a new service name and with the new security features, and they call different names, and we call it as servers, they call it as EC2, we call it as database, they call it as RDS. Okay, relational database storage, relational database. Okay, and how do I connect to the outside world? I should connect to the outside world through the internet gateway, or I could connect through the AWS direct connect. So if this is, you could see here, you want to connect to your own organization, you are connecting through the direct connect. Okay, so what is elastic block storage? You have a C drive in your laptop. The same way, this elastic block storage is a kind of C drive where you are storing your data. So it is a types of storage, elastic block storage, block level of accessing. Okay, so what is S3? Simple storage service. Okay, this is object level. So we are accessing the data in the object form. Okay, here we are accessing the data in the block form. Okay, so we need elastic load balancer. So depends on the organization, or depends on the request, the number of servers or number of storage can be increased, or it can be scaled up to some point, or it can be drastically reduced because to reduce the cost and to save the economy. So we might have used the number of servers less. For example, weekdays we may require more number of servers. On the weekend we require a less number of servers. Or an IPL is the best example. What I could say is. So what is Route 53? It is a domain name system which connects the internet gateway to the outside world. Okay, so I require this port address, route 53. Route 53 is a port address or a domain name system which connects to the outside world. We require a VPC, virtual private cloud. And elastic IP is ours is IP address. No, we all have an IP address. The same way we have a elastic IP address, where when we shut down the operating system or shut down the virtual machines, it will allocate a new IP address for us. Whenever we stop the virtual machines, and when we run a virtual machine, same virtual machine again, it will be run with the new IP address. But you want to stick to the one IP address, then you have to request for elastic IP address. Okay. So what you could see here, to build a one simple environment, I need a network, that is VPC. I need a server, that is EC2. I need a database, that is RDS. I need a storage, that can be EBS or a Amazon S3. And these are all for connecting to the outside world. Okay. If you could see this VPC example, that is what I told. Assume that you are in one apartment or a one prestige Shantiniketan apartment where it has around 21 sectors. So each 21 sectors has its own floors. The same way here, you have the virtual private cloud. So why VPC? That means how do you connect a LAN? Without LAN, you could not access, no? You cannot make the system connected. The same way here. So in the cloud environment, to create a Amazon or to create an application on a AWS platform, I required a one network. So that network, we call it as VPC, virtual private cloud. In the virtual private cloud, so you could see here, we are running on US East 2. You are running on US East 2. So whenever you create a VPC, ensure that which particular region you are selecting and availability zones. Okay. So after this, so what you could see here, so there is a default VPC in all the system in AWS. Okay. So there is a default VPC. The default VPC address is starting from this 172.31.0.0/16. So what is this 172? This is the IP address which is being dedicated to the AWS. So how we have an IP address for your college, the same way the AWS has its own IP address. So that IP address, within that range only, we have to create the virtual private cloud. Okay. So this default VPC, I can create a small subnets. I am dividing into the small subnets, subnet A, subnet B, and subnet C. That means this is one availability zone. This is another availability zone. This is another availability zone. Can I create multiple? Yes, I can create. So what is the starting address? It is 172.31.0.0 to 172.31.15.255. That means 256 address is allocated. Okay, so I can connect. The same way, the another one starts from this 16.0 to the 31.255. The same way this. So when you create any application, your first duty is to create a virtual private cloud. You have to create a one virtual private cloud. Okay. So you are in a Mumbai region. So one per region, a default VPC will be there, and it starts with this address. Okay. So you can create the subnet in each availability zones, and you have to create a internet gateway, security groups, and a NACL. Okay. So what is internet gateway? The VPC, how does the VPC connects to the other on-premises data or other cloud service provider? It connects through the internet gateway. So what is security groups? Your services or your instances are protected by a firewall. So that firewall, they call it as security groups. They call it as a security groups. So NACL is a security which is being given to the virtual private cloud, network address control list. Okay, so this is a security which is given to the VPC. This security groups is a security which is given to the server. Okay, so they assign a public. So coming to the EC2, I would like to elaborate more on the EC2. Okay, so what are all the main key facts and what are all the main features? How do we create an EC2 instance in a AWS environment? Okay, so if you could see here, so EC2 is nothing but a IaaS service. We are going to create an instance. We are going to create an instance, virtual machine instance, and this we have to create one default VPC. Default VPC will be available. I will create a virtual instance. For example, now Shanti Niketan, one virtual server I want to create, I can put it in a AWS default VPC. Okay. And this EC2, whatever I am creating, it is dedicated to this availability zones. That means it is AZ resilient. For example, now, if the instance fails or if AZ fails, if instance fails, that instance I need to recreate once again. If the AZ fails, I have not deployed many servers. Assume that I have deployed only one server, then it is AZ resilient. So I should create more number of servers and deploy, and I should make that as standby. So whenever this server fails, I should make that as active servers. Okay, so these instances comes with the different sizes. That means whether it is a T2.micro or T3, the same way you have i3 processor, i7 processor, i5 processor in your laptop. So same way it is. So it comes with the different configurations, and all these configurations are we can select, and it is been proceeded. Okay. So on-demand billing, if you are owning a Windows operating system through AWS, or if you are owning a Linux operating system, you have to pay on per second basis. So Windows is hourly basis, Linux is per second basis. For example, now you have used a server for 1 hour 20 minutes. So in a Linux server, you are paying for 1 hour 20 minutes only. But you are using a Windows server. Windows server is per hour basis. You are paid for 2 hours. Since see how you are using a Ola service, so you are traveling for a certain distance, and you are taking that Ola service and you are paying for that service, correct, after reaching destination. Same way, whatever service we are using in the AWS environment, we have to pay. So that payment is on second basis only for Linux system and hourly basis for Windows system. Okay, and we have a local host storage or elastic block storage. So how do I create an EC2? To create an EC2, I require a Amazon machine image. So for example, now you in your lab itself, you want to install multiple OS on different systems, you might create the image of that operating system. The same way here, the operating system images, they are calling it as Amazon machine image. Using that Amazon machine image, I can create a Windows server or a Linux server. I can create a Windows server or a Linux server. Assume that I created one Linux server, and that Linux server, I made some configuration, I made some changes, and I allocated some space, and I am running some application on this. So that copy itself, I can create it as a new copy of the image or Amazon machine image. A new image can be created by this. Okay. So what is this Amazon machine image? It is an image of an operating system. So through that, you're creating a virtual machine, okay, or an instance. So what is the permission? Permission can be the public. That means you created an instance and you're allowed the users to access that particular instance. Okay. So that can be the public. Okay. Or you are a owner of that instance or owner of the Amazon machine, and you want to keep for yourself, or you want only for certain people to give the permission. Okay. So that we call it as implicit allow. Explicit means to certain accounts only we are allowed. For example, finance people data should not be accessed by the marketing people data. I should preserve the finance data only to the certain uh, uh, department itself, finance department. The same way here, the permissions are can be public, or it can be owner specific, or it can be explicit. Okay, we have a root volume. The root volume, what you call it as the when you install an operating system. So these root volumes are important, and the volume can be allocated either through EBS, and these root volumes are installed when you run this AMI image. Okay, and you have a block device mapping also. Okay, so this is where it comes, because most of our students should understand this important life cycles, because when we use in a AWS environment, we always say our $100 free tier has been completed, and we have not able to use certain service. So EC2 instance runs in 3 life cycles, three this cycles. The first cycle is running, or 3 phases. First is running phase, and the second one is a stop phase, and the third one is the terminated phase. When you're running a server, okay, you're running a server, you created a server using Amazon machine image, and you started using this server. Okay, so when you're using this server, you use the computational power, that is the server which has been remotely stored in one of the AWS location or in the region, and you are using that RAM space. Okay, you are using the storage space, and you are using the networking component. For any servers, we require the computational power, and we require the RAM space, storage space, and the last one is networking. So all these 4 has been charged dollar. This is dollar. It is being charged when you are running in a EC2 instance in the AWS environment. So when you stop an instance, for example, you stopped an instance, but still you are using the storage space. So that is why they are charging for a storage space. When you completely terminate the instance, then all these will not be charged. What our students will do, the students will create the servers, but they will forget to close that instance. So what does the AWS educator account? In the AWS educator account, they have given $100 for you, but you are assuming that you have created an instance, but you forgot to close that instance because you are not using it. You have closed the complete web page. In that, what happens is, since you have closed the web page, but the AWS has allocated a space for you. That is why all these will be charging, and your $100 will get over within a day if you are not closed. So whenever you run any application or do any lab experiment, you try to stop the instance. After that, terminate the instance. Terminate. Whenever you come back again, you start creating a new instance. That is better. This is where our students are missing. Even our students, their account has become $2 after 1 or 2 days of experimentations. Okay, so you have to create. When you create and when you are in a running phase, all these are charged. Until and unless you go to your account and stop the instance, nobody will perform anything for you, because this is infrastructure as a service. They give an infrastructure for you. The other remaining part you have to take care. To stop the instance and to terminate the instance, that is whole responsibility of the user who is owning that particular account. Okay, so the next one is terminating an instance. How do you connect to the EC2? So to connect to the EC2, I will connect through the private key. For example, I want to connect through the Linux environment. I use both the private keys and the public keys. Okay. So in case if I'm using a Windows environment, I use a private keys and that will connect to the Windows environment. Okay. So I'll stop here. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Any doubts, you can ask me. Meanwhile, I'll execute the other remaining. You have any doubts?
Students, are you having any doubts related to this? You can unmute yourself. Any doubts?
Okay. So if you log into your course in AWS LMS, this is the page you are getting. Is it correct, ma'am?
Ma'am, we didn't get any page, ma'am.
1 second. I did not share the screen. Sorry. This one. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
If you log into your AWS site login, AWS Academy site login, you will, if you create a virtual class for a student, so then these are all the facility given by the AWS Academy. So since we are joined for architecting and other courses, so all these will be available for all the students. So if you click on one particular, I think already it is open. Okay. So if you click on one particular here, so what the student should do to learn this certification exam, they must complete this 10 modules. Each 10 modules will have a explanation given by the AWS instructor. So all the videos are present. So for example, if you take a module 1, the necessary videos are there and you have a student guide also. Okay. And every chapter or every module ends with a knowledge check. Ends with the knowledge check. The same way here, the second module and the same way the third module and 10 modules are there. So in this case, for example, now I want to create a EC2. I want to create a EC2. So what it is in the module 6 and lab 3 introduction to Amazon EC2. Here you have to click on and it takes some time. So you could see here, it is AWS Start Lab. You have to start the lab. Okay. So it is saying that since I have already executed before the execution, before starting of this session, so the lab status is ready. So if you start initially, then it will display that lab status in creation, Okay. So once you get a message, lab status in creation and lab status is ready, that means you are ready to run the AWS platform. You are ready to run the AWS platform. So what you have to do? So you have to click on AWS. Click on AWS and that goes to the AWS console page. See, I'm sitting here in a Bengaluru, but I'm creating to the new server. I'm creating a server in 1 second. Let me drag. So see here, I am sitting here, but I am logging into the Oregon region. So what I can do, I can change here to the North Virginia region, which is the free tier account. Okay. So after logging to this, search for EC2. Search for EC2. Okay. Search for EC2 and click on this EC2 instance. Okay. So what I am doing now, I am creating one server in AWS cloud environment in the US region. In US region, I'm creating one AWS server. Okay. So you could see here already I created some, but I didn't terminate. So since it is a lab, so terminate the instance. So, and it takes some time and terminate the instance. Okay. So let it continue. It's showing some message because I have given for accidental deletion that message. I have to edit that. Okay. So let it be. So I have to start a new instance, or I have to create one new instance. So for example, now Vidya Niketan College server. Okay. So or assume that the web server short form. Okay. I'm creating a one web server for you. I have to give a name. Okay. So this console page, they keep updating. So when we worked, this console page was different. When you are checking, when we are checking today, many a times they keep updating this, and they are making it as user friendly. Okay. So you have to create a given name, virtual web server. And since I am creating one server, I should check which server I would want. That is what Amazon machine image I told. So this Amazon machine image, you could see here, there is a set of machine images which is available in the quick start. Okay. I can click on one virtual machines which I want to create, either the Windows system or a Linux system or flavors of Linux. Okay. So, or I can purchase a new from the marketplace. So there is a new AMIs I can browse from the marketplace or from the community. Marketplace means someone is selling that particular server for you, and that particular image, and that might have been configured with all the facilities. You might need that server, you can buy from the marketplace, or you buy from the particular community. Okay. There may be some service providers who will be selling that servers on this platform. Okay. So
Madam, Madam, one doubt. For practice purpose, we can take the free tier eligible, right?
Free tier only. For practice purpose, free tier only. In case you want to develop your own organization, in that case, you request additional features on the server or the virtual machines. So you can go for this also, one possibilities. So the
Means
next one,
per capacity, they will be charging, and also per license,
yes,
they are charging.
they will be charging for those things. So
Okay.
after selecting the Amazon Linux, okay, so you can select the which particular Linux image you want. So you could see here, usually we select the free tier eligible because we might have the other Amazon component, but I am selecting the free tier eligible. Free tier eligible. So what I could see, the free tier eligible is it is taken from the AMI, this particular Amazon machine image, and it has an architecture of 64 x86 architecture with a 64-bit. Okay. So what is the instance type? Instance type we have given as t2.micro. Okay. So you can compare the instances also. So we have families of instances. So what are all the families of instances, and you could see the varieties. Okay. So from higher end, how you have i7 processor, i3 processor, i5 processor. So same way we have different, and storage also varies, and memory also varies. Okay. We can use this also. Okay. So here we are considering t2.micro and a keeper. I think we have to create a keeper. So if you are creating a new key pair, so you give a new key name and download this. Okay. So here I am not proceeding without a key pair. Okay. So we have a network settings. So in the network settings, so it has taken a default networks which has been available in the AWS. Since I am running in the AWS Academy, most of the configuration is done by the AWS itself, and they would have designed already and it made easier for us to run a particular server. Okay, so they are see here, it is a default VPC which I am selecting. Okay, and if I want a subnet, I want to select the subnet. Okay, so assume that I have selected a particular subnet. Okay, so you could see here US East 1, US East 1C, 1F, 1D, 1B. So assume that I have taken US East 1A. Okay, so the next one is assigning a public address. You can enable and create a security groups. It is creating a security groups, and security group name I can give it as SG, and security group discussion I can give it as SG and description. Okay, and I can specify which particular protocol I want to. So here we require a internet, so we require a HTTPS and from anywhere. It is connecting to the anywhere. Okay, and here we have to add the security group rule. That means you can customize from where the traffic should come and how the traffic should pass. Okay, so custom anywhere, I think that was not required. Okay, so assume that let me remove this. Okay, so when you give the connection to the outside world anyway, so it shows an error, like anybody can access using your the IP address. It's not safe. So that is what it is displaying. So next one is you are just defining what is the storage size you want. You want 8 GB or you want 16 GB, so that you can specify. Then you can use which type of storage devices you want. You want a solid state drives with the general purpose, or you want a throughput optimized hard disk drives. So some set of applications requires provisioned IO with mission critical applications. So such applications use provisioned IOs. General data warehouse applications use general purpose SSDs. If your data becomes older, it will be moved to the archive or archive. Then it will uses cold HDDs and throughput optimized. Throughput optimized means the performance oriented, and we can use. Okay, hard disk drives are lesser coster or cheaper than the solid state drives. So SSDs are little expensive than the hard disk drives. Okay, so I can select which particular the storage category, general purpose SSDs. So that becomes your root volume. Same way you have a C drive, no, in your laptop, C drive, the same way it is. For example, you want to add another new volume, you can add and you can add that. So next one is advanced details. In the advanced details, anything, say for example, you want to create a particular spot instance. Okay, so spot instance means assume that we have a dedicated instance and the 4 types of instances. Okay, so spot instance on the spot itself, the instances are allocated on the bid price. Okay, for example, now you are bidding for 30 rupees, somebody is bidding for 40 rupees, so that will be allocated to them. So if you would have used that instance for a while, but that is immediately allocated to them, and you have to terminate your instance. Okay, so same way here, you can the basic concept what we require is finally we want to run some the lab. Where it is? How do I minimize this? Can I drag this? Yeah, thank you. So you could see here. So what you could see here is you want to install an Apache web server, and you want to configure the web server, and you want to activate the web server and create a simple web page. Welcome to the web server, or welcome to Vidyaniketan College. So that the user data has been written in a code, and you could see here, sorry, here you have to paste that. So it installs the web server, configures the web server, and launch a web server. So all these three necessary steps: installation of the web server, configuring the web server, the second command, activate the web server, and finally it launches a web server. So that is done, and so launch the instance. Once you click on launch instance, it is
Base 64.
invalid base 64. I think I would have cancelled that. Correct? No? Why did I select? I don't know. Sorry. Okay, same way. Same way. For example, now I gave Vidyaniketan web server. So let me do fast. Web server. And I selected an image and key pair I selected, and I've set a network traffic also. That was the best actually. I don't know, something went wrong. And finally, I have pasted this and allow HTTPS traffic. Here I have to give HTTPS. Anyway, that's all. And here. So launch instance. It's taking little time. Why this? Should I did anything wrong? A security group rule with the same protocol and source has already been added to the security group.
Madam, there will be default security group, no?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah.
We can use that one.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, no, morning also I tried, there was some problem. I think so it will create an account. So if you view the instances, what you created, so this, what it has been now, I have to do the refresh. So I created one V web server. This V web server is Vidyaniketan web server, which is I created now, and it is showing the pending state because it is initializing, and that initialization, it has to satisfy, or it has to pass the status check. 2x2 checks should be passed. So what all these status checks means, it allocates the resources, that is storage resources, and the operating system. So someone is creating on my behalf. I just opened a web page. I selected all the options. So within 2-3 minutes, I'm creating a virtual server on the AWS environment. So we have to do this refresh. So you could see here, this is initializing. So it has to pass through that status check. So once it is passed through that status check, that server is ready and you can run the application on this, that server. Okay. So meanwhile, I'll come back to this. You have a lab experiments, like you all have a lab experiments with all the modules. So I request all of you to go through these modules and complete the modules. Once you complete the modules, you will get an idea. You will get an idea once you experiment. If you come at the end, you have a sandbox environment, you want to try something new other than these experiments which is defined in the module, you can click on sandbox environment. That is also same thing, how it connected to the AWS console. It will open a console and you can start working on this sandbox environment. Okay, so this is how we will create a EC2 instance.
Madam, one more doubt, ma'am.
Hmm.
Here, Northern Virginia, we had selected, ma'am.
Yes.
But the availability zone, it is showing US East. Whatever may be the region we select here,
No.
we are getting US East.
Northern Virginia region, no? It is US East one only.
Here, when you select Ohio also, we will be getting US East. Means these are the parts that exist in US East. Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, maybe you are getting East too, the message?
That is Ohio region. If we select means in AWS Academy, we will be getting US East, ma'am.
The US East, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that.
Okay.
You might get US East 2 for Ohio region.
Yes, ma'am. We are getting that one.
So you could see, for example, you want to connect to the Mumbai region. So you could see here Asia Pacific Mumbai region, AP South. We can click on and we can connect to that region. And you could also see one more thing. It is now this particular server is created. Okay, so you could also have like this cloudping.info. Okay, this is a website which gives you the how much latency you have from all the AWS region. So if you ping that HTTP ping, so you could see that there is a latency from whichever location you are to the particular region. What is the latency? Since I am connecting to the US East 1 Virginia region, there is a latency of 271 milliseconds according to this website. If you're connected to Mumbai region, there is a latency of 61 because 60. Mumbai is a closer location for me, then automatically. But if I want to use a Mumbai location, I should pay some amount of money. So that amount might cost more. Because free tier Mumbai region is not available. Correct? No. So you have this Singapore is also nearby and 98 milliseconds. Okay. So you could see the latency delay, how long, like it keeps varying. It keeps varying, depends on the infrastructure and depends on the connections. Okay. So this is one thing. And in the lab, see, I created now one server. No, same way you can create 5 servers or 10 servers. After EC2, you can create one S3 bucket. Okay. You can create one S3 bucket. You can make that S3 bucket easy. You can upload some files. You can upload some images. Okay. So you can create a bucket. Okay. So since I am in a lab experiment 3, some services are limited. Some services are limited. I think I can create, but I think I don't have permission to list the bucket, something it has been displayed. What you guys can do, I have also created one account, aws.amazon.com. If you visit this, it is a free tier account which is there available for 1 year. This is another possible way where you can experiment your AWS services. So you can create one account. Okay, you can create one account.
The thing is, it is asking the credit card number, no, ma'am. AWS account.
Since I have already logged in, it is showing the AWS Academy account only. I think I should log out from this and then I should log in. Okay. 1 second, I'll just log out from this. See here, to learn, you can use this complete course module, all these modules which you are using. Okay. And you can create your own, work on your own sandbox environment. The student has to go through all these 10 modules. That makes easier for you. it will be like, okay, in this particular what we are doing, in this particular what we are doing. So like that, you have to see in the lab 3. I think, sorry, 1, 2, 3. I didn't terminate. No, I have to terminate. So I have to terminate. I didn't terminate that. So in the lab 3, so you could see here, lab is learning. I can end that lab. So when I end that lab, automatically the resources allotted to me will be released. But if you do it in your account, then you have to terminate, stop that instance and terminate that instance. Then only it gets deleted. Otherwise, the cost gets added, because since you are using the storage service at the back end, so it will be the cost will be adding to your account. Okay. So
means here we need not terminate individually the
here
instances.
usually we follow to terminate. Suddenly I close that, but if it's better, we should terminate, or they will terminate. If when you close or end the lab, they will delete the resources which was connected to this particular lab exercise.
Okay.
And so one more thing, 1 second, let it do. So one more point here is, we learned most of the concepts from the Udemy courses. When we are new to the this AWS, we were also facing little problems like understanding the new terminologies, new concepts. We bought a Udemy course. That Udemy course from the Stephen Marek, the new cloud practitioner course. Okay, and one more, I had a one practice test. So that practice test is tutorial dojo. So John Bonso practice test. So you could see here. So you can, all the students who are using this AWS certification are writing this certification, go for a Udemy course by the Stephen Marek. He has explained nicely the Stephen Marek course. You can utilize the Stephen Marek course. It is nicely explained, and all the modules are there. So if you go through the videos, what he has explained, you can easily clear the certification. This is one point to understanding the theory concepts and the practical, like they have given demo also for the EC2 and other services. This is one particular course, that is which one? The Stephen Marek. Okay. So another course which we mainly focused, because we studied from why one more thing is this Stephen Marek course was free. It was free, totally free during the COVID period. So that time I enrolled for this course. Before that, I was already a cloud practitioner certified. But this course is helpful for my students. So that's why I made all my students to enroll. Sometimes in the LinkedIn, if you are LinkedIn and you are following up this Stephen Marek, they'll give a free of cost in some of the time, and for lesser cost also. Some offers they'll give. So another one is a cloud practitioner practice test. So this, what you could see here, there are 6 practice tests. There are 6 practice tests has been given. Okay, so you could see here in the 6 practice test, what you could see here. So if you could see the practice test, so passing marks is 70. Passing marks is 70%. That means out of 1,000, initially you should pass for 70%. Okay. So this exam is for 1,000 marks, and your passing marks should be 700. So if you are crossing the 700, you are passed. The same your exam environment is given to you, and in every test, for example, this here they have taken the test, and here in every test they'll explain why this question was correct and why the other remaining 3 was wrong. For example, now which of the following is typically used to secure your VPC? Answer is network ACN. Why not security groups and other two? Other threes are wrong because those are all the service used for some other purpose. So if you join to this Udemy course, John Bonso practice test, you can understand the each and every services in better way, and you can prepare for your exam, and you will come to know why this service is correct and why the other services is wrong. In the first certification, they are mainly focusing on which service is used for which purpose, why, and they will not give any direct question, and all the questions will be the scenario based, case study based, and only around 10 or 6 to 7 questions will be the direct questions, but all will be the scenario based questions. And the Udemy courses will make you to prepare for this exam, but these questions won't come for exam. This will give you an idea how the questions will be, what type of questions will be. John Bonso practice tests are more tougher than the other tests, how we have in Udemy. There are different practice tests. The John Bonso practice test is more tougher. If you take this test for n number of times, for example, I have taken one test minimum 15 times. So whenever I used to travel, I used to attend the test. My travel journey was 1 hour from my place. I used to complete 2 tests in the morning, attending the practice test 1 and practice test 2. Even while coming in the evening, again another practice test. So utilize your time, and I think you can within 3 weeks. Student point of view, 3 weeks is more than sufficient, and they have enough time to study also. 4 weeks also sufficient. In case you want to still need time, the 6 weeks is sufficient. And one more thing, we have to book an exam. When you book an exam, only will become serious. If you don't book an exam, we will be assuming that, okay, let me study. And since these concepts are new, some concepts you may remember today, and day after you may forget these concepts. So you have to make a note, take a sheet of paper or a book, and you make a note of the service. So there are around 256 service, they say, and every year they'll add some new set of services. So that is also one benefit of AWS. And you keep learning, and you make your cloud knowledge more expertized, get expertise in this, and definitely you will have a bright future. And all the facility given by the AWS, we have to make use of it. Okay. So, and another websites, we have Jayendra blog. I can share all the details. Jayendra's blogs AWS, that is the best website for study path. He has given a study path, he has given a comparison of the services, and he has given this. So you could see here. So AWS certification, cloud practitioner learning path. So Jayendra blocks, and even AWS will give exam readiness program where they within a 1 hour they'll give an overview. But for AWS webinars, you attend cloud practitioner essentials. And one more website we have, tutorials dojo websites. Even I bought some courses on tutorials dojo websites. That websites also gives you more overview. You could see here there are so many the study guides. Study guides are there. There are so many study guides, exam study guide. And this, for example, now I want to focus on cloud practitioner. So they'll give information what and all you have to study in the cloud practitioner. There are mainly 3 papers we should study, 3 base papers or a white paper on the services and security. So those white papers they have listed, one on the pricing model and everything. So additional to this, we practiced everything here. See what is AWS pricing and comparison of AWS services. Take an example of this only, S3 versus EBS versus EFS. These services will get confused. So if you have a depth knowledge, you can remember. So since you are learning for the first time, So you should follow these cheat sheets that helps you. Okay, because while solving the objective type questions, you can clearly say this services should be used by the S3. This scenario will be handled by EBS, like that, which are all the applications we can use using the object storage, block storage, and what are all. Like this, we have many cheat sheets. So we have to go through this all these comparison of the cheat sheets and everything. And one more last is which I am referring is learn.cantel.ie. He has explained nicely. I registered for solution architect course. So he has explained nicely the videos and the diagrams what I used today, all from the Cantril websites only, and he has nicely explained the videos. He has given the complete sessions like how to create an AWS account, how to open our own account, and how to prepare for this exam, solution architect exam, and the what are all the chapters. Okay, so course curriculum has been. It takes some time. So you see, within 1 week, I cannot complete solution architect. Minimum 2 months is required, and we have to focus more on the solution architect. We need a more time for studying. At least 1 year of experience is required. Since we are new to the environment, if you go through certain course, even my niece followed this course, and Stephen Marek course, she cleared the AWS solution architect. So I hope you guys have understood my session today. And if you have any doubts or any queries, you can put me or you can tell me now, or you can send me a mail or message. I'll share all the details which I am having, and the other things. Is there any query or questions?
Students, is there any questions? Any questions, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead, Sai Kumar.
Hello.
Tell me, Sai Kumar.
Ma, if there are any questions, you can ask the questions, ma.
Any other? You have any queries, you can ask me.
Ma, if you are having any doubts related to the AWS Cloud Practitioner certifications also, you can ask the doubt.
And those students who are currently planning for certification, there are around 26 students.
26 students are there, ma'am. Sunera Tech selected students. Are you having any doubts related to the certification program?
I think I have shown you the resources which were available on the Udemy and the AWS Academy websites, and the Jayendra Patil blog, Tutorials Dojo blog, and one more is Learn Cantril. Udemy courses are cheaper, like you will get for 360 rupees. Now it is 400 some change, but Learn Cantril is around 3000 some change. So I think Udemy, it's left to you guys. You can decide and you can go for that. And additional to our AWS resources, what is available on the AWS Academy website, we need a practice test. We have to buy a practice test. The practice test is most important, because once you learn for a week or another 2 weeks, you take the practice test immediately. So when you check for the practice test after attending some question, okay, So when you submit, no, it is okay. Less marks is also okay, but you go through that practice test. Why this question was wrong? Why this question was correct? Correct answer, why you chosen. But simply by you would have checked some checked some answers. You have selected some answers which was correct, but simply you without knowing also you have marked some questions. Okay, so in that case, please understand the scenario and the case study why they are using that services. Okay, and we have around 160 or 126 questions are there that I will share with the madam, and those are all helps for understanding the concepts. Okay, but these questions won't come in the exam. This will help you to understand. Okay, these questions mainly won't come in the exam. Okay, so I hope you guys are, ma'am, you have shared the screen.
Yeah, I'm sharing a screen, ma'am.
Okay.
Students, please switch on your video. Ma, can you hear me? Switch on your videos, ma.
My video is on only. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Your video is on.
It is East Point College.
Okay, East Point, ma'am.
Point. If you have any doubts, you can contact madam and you can tell me. I'll share all the resources which are available to me, and I'll help you regarding the certification. Okay, you guys can study and need not to worry. Okay.
So no doubts from MCA point of view, students.
They're all on Sunday mood.
No, ma'am. Actually, these students are not having any idea related to the cloud computing concepts. They are the first semester students.
First semester. Initially, the same phase we were in 2019. When we joined AWS, we were also not aware of so many concepts. So we also started understanding, and Amrutamai sir, Bhaskaran sir.
Pawan Kumar Puttur photo digitanaadu.
Result.
That's the thing, ma'am. That's why I'm asking the students to know the concepts. Ma, switch on your video, ma. All of you switch on your video. Roll number 60. Right. For these students, we had to start the AWS course, ma'am.
You can tell us, ma'am, when it is, and we initially take up for the two more teachers will join with me, and
ma'am, we can't hear your voice.
Is it, ma'am? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Your voice is not audible, ma'am.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I
Yes,
can
ma'am.
hear your voice. I can hear your voice.
Ma'am, can you hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can hear your voice.
Now, can you hear my voice, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
I would,
Tell me.
ma'am, I would like to express my sincere thanks to you, ma'am, for your excellence coverage of the concepts of cloud computing and the components of AWS Cloud Fundamentals. So this expert lecture covered various concepts of cloud computing and skills required for the student to get the AWS certifications. And you had given the exact picture of the different types of zones related to the AWS, that may be the private or the public zones, AWS regions, what are EC2 instances, what is the importance of EC2 servers and EC2 services, what is a virtual private cloud, the importance of the virtual private cloud, the EBS, RDS, what is the purpose of elastic IP. So you had given the segregations about what is on-premise, what is off-premise. So this will be useful for our students to have their career plan, so that they can have what is the difference between the normal environments and the cloud environments. So I express my deep gratitude on behalf of the department for your acceptance as a speaker for this event, ma'am. I would like to express my sincere thanks to all my colleagues who helped me to conduct this event successfully. I am grateful to my beloved HOD and respected principal, Dr. B.M. Satish, and Vice President, Talent Accelerator, Dr. S. Prakash, sir, for giving me this opportunity. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our management, renowned CEO, Vishnu Manchu, and our distinguished Honorable Chairman, Dr. M. Mohan Babu Garu, for their support and encouragement. Also, I would like to thank all my dear students who participated and made this event a grand success. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to thank each and everyone who was part of this session today. Thank you, students, and thank you, management. Thank you, the department. Thank you, coordinators. And my special thanks to the Dr. S. Prakash sir and Dr. Satish sir, who were the pillars of East Point and who made us to join the AWS course. And without them, we wouldn't have joined the course. Through them only we got to know what is AWS is. We were knowing only Amazon website. We were knowing about only the shopping website initially, and we were not aware what AWS is in 2019. So now we are a part of AWS Academy. We are happy. And I would like to extend my thanks to all the Vidyaniketan complete management. And thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, Sowmya, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye. Shall I end the session, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think
They are active now, ma'am.
they're happy. They are happy.
Thank you, ma'am.